For no particular reason, I have decided I wanted an army of these guys, so I got I got one in every color, just just because I could. Maybe I'll do something with them now. Maybe not now, but yeah, eventually. Greetings, everybody. It's me, Affected Hippo. I'm back again with another Minecolonies video. I'd like to start off with, by the time you're seeing this, I'm a married man. I know, I know. Hold your applause. Nah, that's really the only major thing. Uh, regular video. There's not much to say because I haven't gotten married yet. I'm still recording this ahead of time, but I know when this video is supposed to come out. So yeah, let's get into the colony. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but these guys are moving so slow. There's something wrong with the game or something here, and I do not know what it is. I haven't done anything yet to change it. So I'm lost. So I realized that I can set this preview to a whatever it's called. I can set the preview to a hot key, and then I can. I also found the hammer. I figured out how to get my blacksmith to build it. So I've been doing as much as I can for these not villagers, colonists. Even though it would seem that for every one I place, it uses two somehow. Either that or the game just doesn't recognize that I'm doing it just yet. Well, I'll tell you what, let's make two. I'll test it. Okay, so no. Maybe I'm just not getting enough. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I'm hoping I can build this while the colonists are sleeping to help speed up my progress because I'm getting a little impatient. I feel it's not going to be very interesting material if all that really happens is I upgrade buildings during the video. That just that doesn't sit right with me. I don't think I don't think I'd watch it. I'm not gonna ask that you do. I mean, it'd be nice if you would, but I don't expect you to watch an uninteresting video. So I'm gonna try and at least make this a little more entertaining, I suppose. Where do these things go? Anything else in here I can place? Surprised I can place those down at all. Okay. I do like that I can just them out. And I've used up a bunch of it. But apparently what I had on me was not enough or was not the right stuff. Feels kind of wrong to me. Perhaps maybe this like I I had everything it wanted in my inventory and now it's not allowing it. I don't know. Don't know what's going on. But now apparently I have to go and get everything I collected again, which doesn't make any sense because I clearly put it all in. I placed all the blocks. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe the colonist isn't awake and or because it's nighttime he doesn't recognize what's going on. I don't know how this goes. Also, I installed Distant Horizons So from a distance, that all looks wrong. But I guess as I get closer, it looks like regular blocks. So that's a neat thing that does, I guess. But yeah, I guess it's time to collect all these blocks again. And if I didn't need them, then I I guess I'll just leave it there. The colonists will just have an extra supply of everything, and then yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that until I can figure out if it's actually wasteful or not, because that would annoy me. While I'm in the end getting endstone and ender pearls, I ate a taco and I got strength. One of these. It's the only thing that makes sense. Anyway, back to the grind. I was out exploring a little bit, looking for some rooted dirt. Well, I guess it'd be an azalea tree, so I could get rooted dirt and the hanging roots. I found this guy. Just wandering around. Got it. He escaped. So naturally, I gotta bring him home. These guys are incredibly slow. I feel like doing so. This is this has been going on. This shears durability low because of how I built the the wool farm over there, and I'm just kind of writing it out until it's done. I I will, however, be building a new train right here, just because. Mostly just because that's kind of the whole thing. I'm planning, or I'd like to expand the rail network I got going on right now. The problem here is that it's not going to be. This might get glued to this by accident. So these are going to be set to clear and pave, and this one will be set to slope fill below. Come on, slope fill below. Okay, and then we'll be filling below with dirt. And then above this, it's going to be pretty much the. Do I have drills on me somewhere? Surely I grabbed some drills. Did I not grab drills? I must not have grabbed drills. Lucky for me, I'm just building the other side of this factory right now. And I did not grab any drills. Wherever they're at, there they are. You know what? While I'm here, I should remember to grab a seat. I'm feeling, let's go magenta this time. Just so I can, just so I can get rid of it. I also realize now I do not have any glue on me. However, not much to do about that at this point. We will be putting a deployer in this one as well, so that we can put down additional train tracks. Let's see here. What else do we need? Well, I guess we'll do drills first. Okay, so I do not remember how tall everything is. However, I would have gone 2 blocks higher than necessary for. Yeah, these guys aren't going to. Okay, so we've got most of my trains are built at 6 blocks high, so I'll have to go 2 blocks higher. And then we'll have that should be roughly tunnel shaped, I think. We'll go a little bit bigger here, and then this way, if I end up doing something like a different design for the tunnels, then that will work. Work fairly well. Now what we're gonna do here is just a series of chests. And we're going to make it even on both sides because that's how I like to do things. We'll have this guy here, and he is only going to place down tracks. We'll have controls up here, and we'll have probably not enough, I guess, because I'm going to need, well, now this guy's got to be picked up because I need a controller for that. I'm going to need one of these for this controller, and then really there needs to be a third guy right here. In fact, let's just go get another controller. I don't have controllers set to be automatically crafted here, so I don't have a good stock of them. There we go. I was thinking I have vaults. I have these vaults on me, but they're not. I'm not really planning on using them for. Actually, kind of want this one here. Drills over here, and then there we go. And we will put tracks back in there. In fact, put them directly into his hand. And yeah, that should never change. So we'll put this here. Now we should pretty much have a functioning train. Is it a good train? No, no, no. But it's functioning. Yeah, we're not gonna let this slide. Um, you know what we will be doing though? We'll just keep some of this industrial iron here. However, this is really just the. I was thinking this would be more of a. I don't really know how to describe it. This is really just going to hold things. What I'd like to do is take my. I have a contraption in here. Should be under the cannot stack, and it is not. It is not. Probably unsorted then. There she is. So I didn't really need to keep the storage contraption on me, but now that I have it, let's get the glue while we're here. In fact, that's probably enough to get this whole thing in one. And we'll get all these in a second. We don't need to keep that. So that's pretty much done. Now, side tangent here. I would like to take. I'm gonna need a rail as well. This bit of storage right here. And what we're going to do is do a couple of these. So we're going to have everything out and everything's going to go in. And then conversely, we'll have this here. The difference is I need a filter and a depot. And of course, I don't have I don't have filters stored in here either. Should probably change that. I do, however, have depots. So look at this. A little bit of. You know what? I don't need these vaults. Hopefully. My passenger train. That's the old Milwaukee Road S3. I have enjoyed enjoyed my Milwaukee Road. I think it looks pretty good, pretty fun. And then okay, all right. So here we are. This will go into what? Oh, do these not consider We'll solve that one right now. There we go. Okay. What if I remove this? Is this now considered... I might have been clicking on the wrong block the whole time, but we'll leave that there. And then this one can bring everything out. In fact, I might need 2 of these filters now that I think about it, because we want to take deny. I guess we'd want an allow list and a deny list that are contradicting each other, because we want these 2 guys, that one, and can I do it like that? No. So we want to allow only these items to come out of here, and then we'd want the opposite for coming in, which unfortunately I forgot to do. So in fact, maybe we want to do this a little differently. And also it'd be very slightly quicker to just take, where's it at? These 2. A couple more of these funnels, and another depot. And this will also, I guess, allow the train to fill twice as fast. Put these here, around. That guy goes in. And now instead of having this guy set to only allow, we'll have it set to deny. So we're always going to be full of dirt and flint blocks, because that's what I'm using for my ballast, because I had a surplus of that. And then naturally I don't really have... I should have a hatch on this, I guess. So maybe I'll go and switch that up as well. Let's get a hatch. I guarantee you I don't have those. We'll make it... just 1 is enough. So I haven't used a hatch much since I began the last world I played on, I guess. I never mess with the new stuff now. But I should be able to just take like the dirt. Yeah, and that works perfect. However, we'll go from there, glue all this, ditching you. You should be fine. And this, I think, should cut it. I might put a couple levers on here, just in case. I don't know. Maybe I want to stop filling with dirt, or in fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the dirt. No, I'm going to put levers on there so that, you know, as I'm building, or as I'm laying my track, I don't have to worry as much about... Let's put it down here on the side, and then I can power those guys off. There we go. And then that should be adjustable even when this is powered on. Yep. Question, now if this is... Okay, so while it's an entity, these don't actually work. But that's fine. I can keep that right there for now. Glue should be good. You should be all done. I was going to attach a real engine to this, but I figure I can just build another one. Or alternatively, there's always like Salty right here. I could technically connect. But I think we'll just have this do it for now. Yeah, I don't think there's really a reason to add anything extra to this. Yeah, I think we're... Well, I suppose... What height... okay, what height did I make this guy? Right above eye level, so right about here. So you'd want it... I mean, shoot, I could put it... I couldn't put it there. We'll put it here. In fact, we'll put one on either side just so it's symmetrical. But yeah, Okay, we should be able to go ahead and just assemble and call it the, I don't know, call it paving machine. That's pretty straightforward. If something runs, that's the station name. Hang on, Control C. Sweet. So let's just get in there real quick and just make sure. Missed those. Of course I did. And also, my station's gone now, so I'm just going to have to figure out, it's probably about there. We will disassemble and make sure to glue these guys on. There we go. Paving machine's done. I will keep the station and the rest of that on me. However, all these individual items are probably going to get thrown away, or at least thrown into storage. And we'll just come up this way, and I'll take this guy with me. Very important. Maybe keep one, like all this stuff on the, no, because it'll get, all that will get discarded by the train. However, I could just load all this up right now. And I forgot tracks in that other guy, didn't I? So I'm going to completely dump my load of tracks, a load of rails. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I should get to fixing that. But I think I've dragged on this long enough. Maybe you guys are getting a little tired. We're not gonna be able to fill with grass, unfortunately. No. I do an awful lot of talking in these segments for it to more than likely end up cut out. Now, the point of this is to fill all this area around the track so I can have a more. Basically, I'm thinking it would be more entertaining to have a. Like, it'd be more realistic almost, I guess, if I had a. I don't know. I don't really know what to call it. I'm thinking like farmland around the tracks. Like, obviously, you leave a. I don't know, like a 5 block gap or something, because there would normally be room for the railroad to come running through next to the line. And it doesn't have to be the prettiest through here. It just needs to be done. And the idea here is, as I mentioned, fill in the area, likely with crop fields on either side, because around a town, large enough towns or areas, you're going to have farms because you have to feed the town. And I mean, that's the idea here, and that's how I experience it living in my little Midwest hometown with not much going on around me. However, now with that done, probably turn off the pavers for a little bit. Nope, I missed anyway. But yeah, this I'm gonna do this for I guess a couple hours and just kind of see what happens. Have some fun with it. It's not much, and I'm not done, but I have built an obscenely long railway. And if we get in the air, we can get a better idea of the scale of this. I did run out of flint blocks for ballast. I've got a nice large rail line encompassing this place, this mountain cherry grove. Curious, how well can I fly through here? Well, I mean, technically doesn't fit, but I made it. Okay, so wraps around here. Yes, continues across the savannah north through this, well, I guess kind of under this taiga, through the jungle, there is this place which I think I died at many times. Continue north through the plains. What is this? Sparse jungle, and then whoop left past this savanna colony, which I'd like to make. There's this jungle colony, which after zooming out, and especially with the Distant Horizons mod, you can see all three of these colonies. I don't need that waypoint. You can see all three of these colonies from one point, which would be right here. So I don't go here, but you would be able to. And then you've got the end portal all the way up here. So you know what? Let's go ahead and enable the end portal so we can just see. Okay, 5,000 meters in a straight line. I think that's important to consider. It is a straight line from here to here, 5,000 blocks. Well, it's not straight. So I think easily 6,000 blocks, maybe more, maybe less. I also forgot I need to no, give me out. I need to put a couple of these down just anywhere really. Put it here. And I also got a second backpack to try. I don't have enough netherite for multiple of these backup upgrades, but well, maybe someday. And we'll have both of these set up like this. It's a long way. I do not want my trains to head out if they're going to run into both of these or either of these. Like if they're gonna run into each other and be stuck several thousand blocks away from home, I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to want to fix it. It's been a few days, and I've been at the fire station. I've been at work. And now that I'm here, um, I'd like to build a new train. That's, I mean, I know we built one earlier, but let's build a real one now. I got the wand of symmetry set up. I got a hole in the floor so I can create a new station, and then ah. So what is this going to be? So I think this is the one I want to build. It's the LNER A2 peppercorn, and yeah, uh, it should be as simple as your standard two bogey. We don't really need it to be large. Small up front. We don't need much. Next, we need 3 large driving wheels. So let's go driver. In fact, let's make it extra large. See what happens. Do we need it long? Could we do short? I feel like long fits better for this one, as long as it comes in and okay, maybe a block further back. But put it right here and click it right there. That's what we want. And then little guy right about here. Looks to be about here. Yeah. Also, I downloaded this mod called Pretty in Pink, which I saw Corrales using in his single player world. And yeah, I like it. Well, looks like we're going to be interrupted. I feel like it's got to be large, extra large. This guy right here, little gap, and then I don't need these anymore. They should be all supplied. Not you. We'll want truck, trailing, 2 count, and we'll make it a double. Actually, I think there's a small gap. Not that big though, so maybe instead of this, we'll do 1 right in the middle, and we'll make it a 4 count. I don't know, just this almost feels too short now. I mean, I suppose it comes pretty much right up against it. So let's check the 3D model on a different screen. Hello, cat. Too bad there's no option to really extend the trailing bogies. So let's oh, I guess another sheep got sheared. Let's see. Let's go ahead. Well, oh, this I wonder if these look all right. And then up front, it honestly just looks like it's let's get nope. We're gonna need a little bit of like maybe not everything, but a lot of copycats. Let's take I don't know, stack of the bytes, stack of the half layer, byte panel, copycat boards for sure, panel, slabs, stip. Do I need any slopes? I hope not, but probably. So what did you just press? You press any buttons just there, Cashew? Or was that my computer making noise for no reason? Oh well. Let's throw that away for now. Okay, so tender will be an easier option, and it'll give me a chance to kind of decorate. So do I want that sort of style, or are these better? I don't really, it's hard to tell. I do think I lean more towards these guys, which is unfortunate because they're directional, so I have to place them all vertically. I suppose an upside to this is this middle section here. I can fill this in with these guys. I don't know how high I'd want them though, is a problem. Like maybe I'd want a small gap, medium-sized gap. And is there a... There is a red bar, but I don't... I don't have the copycat headstocks that Steam and Rails offered, so I have to keep using these black valves, which I don't have any, and I don't even have any valves, so let me just get... Where's the recipe for them? There we go. I'll just make as much as I can. For some reason, only... There's the rest of them. Now, the problem here is having an odd number doesn't make any sense considering they always come in pairs, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. So we have to figure out how to squeeze in these valve handles, all the while maintaining whatever this is supposed to be. So let's probably use our bytes actually here. We want... I think we do want these guys to be more... Well, maybe not exactly like this. Maybe we'll have this specific section be more of a slab-like layout. Do these steel tanks, are they going to look any good? Maybe like that. Yeah. Now let's get some red. And this is all made, by the way, similar to Loco Metal. We just need some iron and stone cutter as soon as it comes in. Do I have any on me? Nope. I guess I'd have to keep wand of symmetry in my inventory now that I'm messing around with this, but let's find, yeah, red. Let's see what we got going on here. What do you think? I'm thinking tanks will be enough. And honestly, just making a bunch of this is going to be fine because now that I have all these options for, well, hang on. We don't want to put them all in because then we got to click them all individually. I think I want that. Okay. Come on. There we go. Is that any good? I don't know. However, I do like that I'm only placing half of them. Like this down here, you see, that was a mistake. Also, out of iron again. So let's just grab almost a full stack. I don't know if I'm going to need this olive steel block. I do like, however, that these aren't your standard just red. I think they try to get it closer to what they think it, like this one's really bright. Lime, olive. And we went with these. And then I should be able to place one here. Yep. And it should make sure to match the style for everything. We're out of the black right now, so let's just ignore it for a bit. And let's get some of these, you say steel hull. Do they work the same as, they do work the same as the other guy. So what we're going to do, in fact, is go up a single, nope, go up a single block, and then, so this will be very slightly elevated, just above the point of where the wheels would touch it. And let's see here, where does the cab, so the boiler technically begins just at the, well, the lower end of the boiler starts at the end of the third wheel. Well, we're going to end up taking this all the way anyway, and then just kind of tying into this vertically. And then what is this? Basically, the whole front bogey is just this guy. But we'll bring this up here. One, two. I don't know if I like, I'm going to need that back in my hand. But I like it like that. Coming all the way up to the front, considering how the buffer beam extends just, well, you know what? The buffer beam technically comes almost a whole block forward, I guess. So maybe I don't have to do it like that. In fact, I'll probably leave it as it is here. Can I click this and create? Nope. Every single one has a smoke box door, it would seem. So we've got the core. Well, I guess it doesn't really have much going on as far as this is the problem, right? With recording and trying to follow a little pattern. Like this is smooth and it looks a little bit closer, but I liked the other way. It doesn't really matter so long as it works. Lamp. We got any lamps in here? How about light? I guess maybe not light. We want something like this. Maybe not so big though, but industrial front light. Let's see here. We might need to go with the netherite option. You can turn it? Okay. Turn it on. Guess not turn it on. Maybe I have to power it to turn it on, but if so, that may be more of an issue than expected. Do we have more lamp options? You completely ignore that. Can I make it out of netherite? Probably. Actually, this might work. Now that I think about it. Let's try some... I would take 2 of those, some bite panels, and create... Where are they at? Here they are. Factory gauges. They won't actually emit light, but... I mean, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Can I not get... Oh, I can't, can I? No! Go back. A bite panel? I don't want a bite panel. I want a bite. Okay, good. However, here, we do want the bite panel, and we'll put them right there on the edge. Put you in there. Remove that guy. I think that's what we'd want. Maybe we'd want to rotate it so it's vertical. Or, yeah, maybe more like that. And then we just throw... It's gotta be... stock link, wherefore art thou? Any old stock link, please. Or some of these guys, I guess they work too. Is it because I linked it to a block over there? Did it try and place over here? Did I not pick up 2? Well, whatever happened? Did I only grab 1? I probably only grabbed 1 and didn't realize it. Alright, let's link to... I don't know. I wish I could make it unimportant, but... I suppose it... this could be a problem too. What's not working here? Did I run out of gold? Are they making... You know what? I probably ran out of gold, and that's what that's doing. Alright, place those on there. So they're kind of like lights. I'm not going to be able to get one really centered right here. I could probably move them over as well, so they're not immediately on the edge. Or there's the other option where I take more of these bite panels and I extend the edge of the train just a bit. There we go. One in here, and that's in. Alright, and this looks pretty okay to me. We're just gonna let the train, or the other guy keep going. Keep struggling, if you will. However, what we will be doing is taking whatever base block we want. It doesn't really matter, but we will be needing some of these half layers, and let's put this back in the hotbar so we can start doing half layers. And then the next one, well, I guess it doesn't have to go all the way below it, but down here we definitely need a third one. And then similarly up here. I guess it kind of doesn't make it that far out. Like, I also can't shape it any better around the wheel. So we're just going to call that good. And then the next one, I don't know how this one needs to go. Do I have any vertical? Maybe this will do? Nope. There we go. I can just... Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even have to be the layers now. This one could be like that for sure. What are you? half layer. I have a lot of half layers. Do I have any panels? I don't have any regular. I don't have any. I don't have any regular layers on me, do I? I'll change that, and we won't need that. However, when it comes to red light, do I have? Nope. I have lots of options though. I might have to, because the end of the train should have some kind of red lamp on it, I would think, kind of indicating like there's a train up in front. I don't I don't know if I have anything else specifically that I could use. Maybe I'll just look at it later. That's the responsible thing, right? Just to ignore. Panel layer. Well, I guess since this one is different, I probably should have just kept... I can't layer bytes either. Well, can, but I can't. So we're just gonna go ahead and extend these guys. I don't know which way I want them to extend. I kind of like that, but I also am not a fan of... I think we're gonna go with this one. There we go. I like that. You can't see any of the ends exposed, probably because this is the end and it's just folded over. So yeah, that works. The only problem is this part right here. It doesn't actually cover. So I'm leaning more towards doing less slopiness and more this. There we go. And then we'll do like a bite right here. Well, hang on a second. Let's go ahead and put some of these guys in. Let me get out. Bite. Well, panel. Followed by a bite. A panel. There you go. And then one more vertically like that. Well, that's the problem now, isn't it? And I can't go any higher. So maybe I bring this part of the engine in. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. There's also not a whole lot. Well, actually, come to think of it, there is a little strip down below in this section here that would... it's unfortunate we can't like blocks can't occupy multiple spaces, and that I don't have... I like that shape. I think that's good. The problem with it is that I can't maintain it. I could do this and have some more and have it on the inside and have less space on the outside, and that would work. But now I've got this rail right here, which I'm less of a fan of. And then the easy solution would be to just take some of these, and there we go. They're not there anymore. Problem is now I have to take this and fill it in. What's your problem? I have pale moss. I have all this stuff. I'm also not a fan of the lack of stripes on this. However, I may have a solution for that. Remember, it was I may have a solution. I'm not entirely sure on that just yet. What I do know is put this in the offhand, and then we'll just take this up. Then I'll need something to hold the space while I put the bite in. Then another one over here. We'll take these panels. I'm not a fan of the solid green. There's a very, very strong chance that I either make these much narrower so that I can add some details on the exterior here with like some slices. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So instead of having, okay, so we'll have one right there. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if I want it to be that color, but I want copycat trapdoor, and then we'll put some, well, panels would be good enough down here. However, on the other side, if I could hit boards, and then I did get that iron. I carry a stone cutter here, so I can get some black brushed steel and just fill in this. Hang up, come on, fill in this lower section, and we'll make sure to take this up so I can actually put everything back in. Now, here's what I want to do. I can't put a seat. I can't put anything over here. Can't put anything right there. So controls will have to go in there, and I'll have to find a way to add more like coal. And then can I take, yes I can actually. I can take some, these, where are they at? There should be this full layers, half panel, bite. Where happened to all my was it vertical sliding doors? Half layer. Alright. How about this? Do I have any more view? Nope. Well, let's do it like this then. Nope. Where are you getting placed at? Right there? We don't want that. Are you vertical? And we'll do it like that. And then the next little piece, and well, no, those won't work. But then it can go back to being upside down slabs. I know this is technically wrong, but at this point it's about filling the gap. So it goes up to the front of the wheel, and then it drops down to about here. It also makes me think maybe we go, instead of doing this, I still need it to be standard driving. Instead of this, maybe we do a regular. And I had it extra large, turn it around again. So there's just less involved. It looks cleaner, I guess. There is, however, a step up between these two sections. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some layers. And we'll do it like that. And then I should have some of these. And I'm going to need a, hang on, can I just put this guy into the stone cutter? Nope. Well, it looks like I can take the color off of it and make it white, or I can make it back into nuggets. Which I fear, that's actually, no, that's a good way to, that's a pretty good way to do it, because that's a pretty low return, I would think. I won't get it back right away. What if I put this in here? So I have 1 nugget. Okay, so 2 nuggets from one of your holes. And everything's 1 to 1, so it should be... Put these guys in, I should get... Okay. Yeah, alright. So I'm losing a lot of the value in doing that. However, it's a good way to clean up the compartment. Are they compartments? So that worked there. However, I don't know if I'd want it... I think I'd want it more like this. And then there, I can't do it like that. I guess I could do it more similarly to this, I guess. But now I've actually got some interesting shapes going on through here. The problem being, now I've got to figure out... Okay, okay, okay. I see where I did what I did there. Nope. Nope. Yes. Well, I've done 2 or 3. Looks like I did 3. I'm gonna drop it down to 2 there to try and move away from that piston rod right there. This guy, I think, had to be just nope. Just straight across. And a series of... One more. A series of slab. Nope. Layers. And for some reason, they're all the panels are invisible for the first few. There we go. And then we'll take some... Because now it's a lot easier to get my hands on. Take some more iron. And then some of these copycat slices. We'll take just a whole stack of them. Oh, while I'm looking at it, I might want to make sure this all gets filled in and consistent. Is there one missing in here? No. I shouldn't really need anything else up through here. Hang on a second. Can't be missing anything. Will look wrong. This one, however, this might end up being glass. So you can see, I understand it may not look the best, but I want a window. I understand this is it's based off the peppercorn A2 peppercorn of the LNER. However, it's also worth noting that I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying. I am trying. Let's take some panes. I think there's copycat panes as well. If there's copycat panes, then we've got some smoke deflectors. Yeah, so they've got some copycat panes. So in turn, I'm going to guess, take... What did I need the iron ingots for? Red. I wanted red. Maroon. Let's make it proper red. And let's get this red corrugated one. Why not? You... where are the panes? Pane. And then these corrugated ones will be I don't know if I want to do more boilers. Oh, I suppose that's an issue as well, because they are supposed to connect. Can you keep this to yourself? So in that case, I would remove those, both layers. And I can't take it anywhere past that because of this right here. That being said, though, I mean, still, if I threw those in there, I mean, they do connect right there, which I suppose is a little different and not exactly what I had in mind. Maybe maybe we go without the smoke deflectors, at least down here. I don't want those. I want more of these. And we're just going to go ahead and put these back as they were, because I'm not going to worry about that. Not now. Dislike this part right here. I don't like how it's clipping. I don't want to bring that whole thing forward either. Get out of here. Let's get some corrugated black. It might benefit me to just get a couple stacks of the iron over here for when I'm doing this. Ooh, back of the train is something I've got to consider real quick too. So do I simply take... I think I do. I think I do just take like a strip out of here. Well, I couldn't really put it there, could I? I could extend a... I couldn't go a half block back either. This is a difficult bit here. Well, I guess there's the other option of... I need to truck, trailing, too small. And then if I take a second one and put it... That one goes there. So they would touch, but it would extend my back quite a bit. I think I'm going to extend the back a bit. That the bigger tender is not really the important part to me, but the look is really where I'm at with this. I'll need that. I don't need as much corrugated black. And I just made it all into boilers anyway, because I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Corrugated. Put you right there. I mean, it shows those two basically being connected, though, is the only thing I don't like. I feel like that's a little long. But this way I've got... It ends right there. It ends right here. So this is what I would do. In fact, it's what I'm about to do. So take notes, those of you interested in recreating this. And we'll take our last two black valve handles. We will continue what we did in the other area. Where's that bite panel? I'll just make sure it's the same sort of rotation. And then we can take more bite panels and we can just put them next to each other. Some of these. And make those green. And we should just be able to take this and kind of wrap it around. And then the back of this doesn't really matter, but I can also see I'm out, so let's... Can I take it? Yeah, like that. Does that line up? Does that line up? with the textures. It really doesn't. What if I put it on upside down? Does it line up better? I can't tell. I don't think it lines up there. It probably doesn't help that it's not actually the full texture. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make some more, what is that, olive green? Not much. Make some more olive green, lime. I think I'm gonna have to make pretty and pink its own category so that I can find all this stuff a lot quicker. There we go. And then we'll be able to open this and access everything inside the tender. What we're going to do next, stretch, stretch, and continue. So I got the bites. We'll throw some red stripes in here. Just, I guess, for a little bit of visual interest. I understand it doesn't really do much at this point. In fact, I could probably drop it down to there. I do think I would like this section to be a little bit lower. It almost kind of highlights where the bogeys are at to a certain extent. It's just a nice little detail. I like it. It's staying. We probably won't be using any more red though. Here we'll probably, in fact, move away from what I just did and just have more of the green, because I don't think realistically you'd actually see. Is it any different? I don't think they're any different. I'm going to ignore it. If there is any difference there, go ahead and tell me in the comments. I'll probably read them. Now, I see what I did wrong already. I was going to bring this whole back section in, and then I proceeded to not do that. So let's go ahead and get to that, I guess. Because, yeah, okay. I feel like that was the goal here. Why I did this. Plus, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for the rest of the train to be so uneven. Just like this. I also think I can do... Can I do multiple layers of steps like that? No, I can't. So we'll do it all with bites, I guess. And then we'll just have green through here. Well, not there. And then we'll have the... So I don't like that, but there's not much to do about it. In fact, if I wanted to, I could take black. I could technically black it out like that. But that one's going to have to stay as it is. Yeah, I'm leaning a lot more towards this right here. Problem being, this guy down here doesn't actually work that way. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just drop one layer there. I could do regular. This is a slab. I could do regular layers. I couldn't do it in a way that would allow me to have this black layer. Well, you know what I could do? I could just completely forgo this part and just have some... In fact, it would also allow me to... Let's get to this. And let's get that in the hotfire and some layers and just double it up and then triple. And then the slab section, or the, I guess, the copycat bite section over here. And now that I'm switching this up, bring you back out. I may not have had to do this bite section at all, which means it might more than likely will be cut out of the video. There we go. All right, so that part's done. We'll remove this bit as well, since I'm making everything more complicated now. Uh, you'll go, so will you guys. And then this part will be bites. So we'll take these guys real quick while we have something to place them against. And this one's gone already. Genius, genius. I am so great. Now this would be the part where, is it still on me? Yes, it is. This would be the part where I could actually get some use out of board. Was I standing inside those blocks when I was supposed to place them? I must have been. Or they're clear. Either way. Does not matter. Alright. So now, how did I do it over there? Board. Late. I was really hoping it would kind of sort it a little bit. Panel. There. 2. Nope. 3. And then I might have to continue with the layers, actually. Huh, how do I want to go about doing this? I'm honestly thinking there is, in fact, not you. There is this layer that continues all the way back. Maybe not all the way back, but on mine it will. I'll make a whole stack. Because I will be making more. And a stack seems to me like it would be more than enough to never have to make more. Unless I get completely out. What are you? Fluid vessel. Oh, it's just like a horizontal one. I can't really make them any bigger either because of where I've placed it. So we'll just try and give it a, yeah, I think two-tone's the right phrase to use there. I don't really have a ton of layers left either, so maybe we'll call this kind of where it's at. I'll need that. And I don't know if I really need the wand of symmetry, but we'll put it in there anyway. I think I'm safe to go ahead and just, I'm gonna uncraft all this. Oh, and I need a plate, I need a way to fuel him now that that's a good thing. Good thing I did that. Uh, where could I put in fuel? It has to be a solid section, and it has to be attached to these front two bogies, I believe. So could I just take it couldn't really put anything in through here. I'm trying to think of how I'd go about this. Would I want to do it just... I can't reach it from inside the cab. I think that's pretty certain. I can't get anything past where this guy is. What if I did it the other way? Like, clearly there's this big wheel right there. No one should be able to see through. So let's take the whistle, move it back here, put in him, and then maybe just for the sake of completion, making the train look more solid, we'll grab enough... Hang on, I should have a panel. That's how you make the trapdoors. See, I can't even find it, and I just put it there. So yeah, so we can have this look like it's filled in, but clearly it's accessible. And yeah, I think that's going to be good. I need everything else on me, but I think I can start dropping what I don't need. It does feel pretty good to empty out the inventory. I need that just to put the platform back together because I don't have a designated sort of train yard, which I should probably get on. In fact, that might be one of my future projects once I have time to really sit down and play the game again. So these two, this guy and this one, are technically part of a different assembly. So we're going to make sure we don't include them, because they will automatically glue to that bogey, which will give me 3 bogeys and completely mess me up. I do not have... I need temporary blocks here. The temporary blocks I tend to like to use, and thanks to the way I've done things, I can actually have some. I don't need that many. But let's get, I don't know, 5. I like to... I don't know why, but diamonds are, for some reason, my go-to temporary block. Mostly because they look they look pretty wrong if you start including them in builds. Not there. It's got to go up one higher, and it'll come down here. There you go. And then same thing will go on up here. One there, and then right there. And that should be the entire... well, hang on a second. It is the entire loco, but that's not what we want to do. We want to get this part right here, which I can't reach thanks to the way I've done it. And let's also not go losing diamond blocks now. But yes, you there to there. This is the this is what I do for every single one of the trains I build. Also, I don't like that. I want this part of the cab to be part of the rest of the front of the train, which means I'm going to have to do all that again. Why not? Oh, you're not connected. Are you not connected somehow now? How are you not? You know what? It's too high. I need to go to this block. But yes, now that those two are done, that should be the front of the train with this section going completely around. Yes. But if I hold, I think it's my sprint key. Nope. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Nope. No clue how to do it. Okay. Well, we're going to ignore the... we'll have to do the top in 2 sections, but if I go to here, I should be able to glue that block to there, and then this specific block down to here, and then yeah. So that looks like that looks right. Pick it up. So we're gonna do this right here. Yep. Call you Pepper. Nope. In fact, let's call it LNER A2 peppercorn, so we can get the whole thing in. And I don't know what we'll call this. We'll call this call it Hello Factor. This is the east, and it's the pass uh, center line. There we go. All right. Now, some major issues, not a lot of detail. I might go in and fix that. I don't know. I'm currently 20 minutes late for a little appointment. So let's take her for a little run. Yes, I'm aware it doesn't quite fit the curves, and maybe. Oh, I forgot about that. I'll just throw you over here. I don't I don't really need my paving machine right now, partially because I also don't have enough to pave. I just don't know why the train seems to think the right is the obvious answer when the tracks go straight. Like it veers to the right instead of going straight. And there's also no lights. Like these up here, they look like lights, but they really aren't. Also, I'm looking backwards. I don't know. Okay, so I was having issues with this previously. This is actually one of the excuses for coming here. I can't remember what I named this one. I'll have to I need to go to the other station. And it's done this way because it's a through. Ah, hang on a second. That's a remnant from trying to fix everything earlier. Leave me alone. This is still the east side. And I had to extend everything because I well the train didn't fit. Really. That's the issue I ran into. I built this before building my express locomotive, resulting in nothing. I can't do anything with it. But yeah, I think I did all that in this episode as well. I don't know. I haven't started editing it yet, but I am quite happy with where I'm at. I would like to fill this area in and make this like an end of the line sort of hub area. I also need however you want to look at it, a couple places to fly out of, like a couple little airfields. It doesn't have to be anywhere special. In fact, it could go in the middle of nowhere. It could go right here. I could put a little airport on the southern end of this peninsula if I wanted to. I probably wouldn't. Um, the northern end might be better, but yes. In fact, maybe that is what I'll do. I'll put it right here, and then it can be done in such a way so that trains coming from this way couldn't jump the points and crash into the airfield. But yeah, let's go ahead. That is all I have time for today. I'm sorry. I realized I left that that my reference image in the picture and in the corner for so long. That's actually part of my recording. That's not part of editing. So that's just how I chose to do it. I'm being lazy. Um, yeah, from myself and my two largest trains. Okay, from myself and my second largest train. Oh, okay. All right. So I've been hit by the Milwaukee Road, but that's all good. for myself and the peppercorn, thank you for watching. Glad you could join me for building this. If you'd like, I could upload like a proper tutorial on this or some other trains if you'd like. I'm thinking that would be a fun thing to do. And we're gonna jump on the peppercorn now, so I stop getting hit by zombies. But yeah, he's an interesting little engine. Little, I don't know if it's the right term, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.